I am live on Lake of the Woods right now. Stick around. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing and what's going on up here. All right, here's what we're doing is we are sitting in, I just moved spots, so we're a little over 20 feet of water right now out in the mud. Lake of the Woods bite is phenomenal. I want to start this out. I actually got a fish under me right now. I want to start this out by saying no ice is safe ice. The ice is healing right now. We've had a lot of cold weather. That doesn't mean drive wherever you want. It is still very dangerous out here. There is spots that I personally found 4 to 7 inches of ice. So everybody, you need to stay on the marked trails and be very, very cautious. Talk to the resorts. It is still very dangerous out here, even though we had the cold weather, but the fish are definitely biting. This spot here, I was out deeper earlier today, further out on the lake a little bit, and I moved in here where there's cell phone service, and already, I've only been here for a little bit, and I've already picked up a couple fish, and they are down there. One down there right now. See if we got everything lined up here. I got all kinds of stuff for you today. I am going to do a giveaway also. So if you would like to go ahead and throw some comments, we will pick somebody out of the comments live, and I'm going to give away a Radcliffe right there. I'm going to give away a Radcliffe G2 is what I'm going to give away. This is a panfish rod. This is my favorite panfish rod of all time. It's kind of a middle-of-the-road panfish rod. It's not too heavy. It's not too light. You can fish just about anything on it. Tungstens, smaller spoons, anything like that. All works great. Oh, there we go. We got some comments rolling in right now. All right, so let's just start off with what I am doing here. Fish right now are sitting off the rock out in the mud. I'm not on a reef. I'm out in the mud, and that's where these fish are all hanging out right now. The bite is really good. Morning and evening bite has been the best on Lake of the Woods. They are catching fish everywhere from Pine Island to Morris Point to Zipple. Everybody's catching fish up here. The bite is really, really good. And it's only going to get better as this ice heals and these resorts can get out further. It's only going to get better because we've got half of this lake is untouched right now. So it's going to be a good bite all the way through January and February. It's setting up to be a really good bite. So these resorts need you guys. They have had a slow start to the season. A lot of them have houses available. Just talked to Arneson's last night. That's where I generally go out of. Give Arneson's Rocky Point a call. They are taking people out, and they have availability. So if you want to fish, give Arneson's a call. They are dragging houses out constantly and fishing a ton of people. So definitely give them a shout, or any other resort on the lake. Got all kinds of comments. My little guy Finn. Hi Finn, how you doing? And we are live on Facebook and YouTube. So I hope we're live on both Facebook and YouTube anyway. Yeah, we are. So if you are at home, you can turn to the Lindy Fishing Tackle YouTube page, and you can get it right on your TV at home. I'm not paying attention. I got a fish under me right there. He's coming up. All right, so what I want to go over is I'm kind of cheating today because this is Lake of the Woods and I fish here all the time, so I know what works and what doesn't. But let's just say I'm going to a new lake and I'm not really sure what lure I want to use. I'm just going to go through my process real quick of how I do it. First of all, when I'm picking the size, I pick the size for the species, obviously. Right now I'm fishing like 1/4 ounce, 3/16 ounce stuff. So let's say you got these lures right here in your tackle box, okay? What I'm going to start with right away, I need to pay attention so I can catch this fish. It's subtle jigging today. Anyways, so you got these lures right here in your tackle box, okay? I start middle of the road, the quiver spoon, and it's very middle of the road spoon. It doesn't have a ton of noise. It does have some nice action to it. It has a slow drop rate, and by dropping that down, I can watch what these fish are doing on my electronics. You don't have to have Mega Live like we're using right now. You can use standard Vexillar's Markham, anything like that will work just as well. And I'm going to read the mood of these fish, and then I'm going to adjust according to what I see going on down there. So, the first scenario would be you drop down and you've absolutely got nothing going on, right? That is when I would take this scale right here, these lures, just saying these are the lures in my box. That's when I would head over towards the rattling flyer side. Walleye talker, rattling flyer, rattling quiver spoon. I give it some noise to call these fish in, especially with what I'm fishing right now. He's down there. Just not having it though. You guys see that? I'll pop that up, see if I can get that bigger for you. So that being said, I'd add rattle and hopefully, in the hopes to call the fish in, is if I didn't see anything. So then the next scenario would be if I'm jigging down there and I got these fish coming in, they're super lethargic, or they're coming in, sniffing the bait, and they're running. There's a couple different things you can do there. I would say, as a rule, I don't generally downsize to the tungsten toad and the frosty spoon for walleye. I don't generally do that. Sometimes I do, but most of the time I'm going to go up towards something that rattles, because a lot of times those lethargic fish or those fish that are running, you give them a little bit of rattle with that rattling quiver or that rattling flyer, and that will trigger the bite. But I do know, actually, last year on Lake Winnipeg, that one's a little bigger. Last year on Lake Winnipeg, we were downsizing and using small spoons and oh, he hit it. Oh, missed him. Using small spoons and small tungstens to catch those big greenbacks. And that was a situation there of just a lot of fishing pressure and a lot of traffic on that lake. He's down there. So that, was one of those unusual instances where I did go from, I was using glow streaks and glow spoons up there, super aggressive. And I downsized all the way to, he's down there, all the way to tungstens and salt and small spoons. I'm going to give you a little better view of this if I can, since we got fish all over down there. There we go. All right, you can see him under my bait there now. So the jigging today is just, oh, he's going over the quiver spoon. He hit the quiver spoon. Got him right there. See him coming up on the Mega Live. Another perch. It's my second perch since I've been here. And that was on just a regular quiver spoon. And that's a nice perch right there. I'm going to keep him. I'm going to keep a few to eat today. Sherbert quiver spoon is what bit that. And you could see plain as day on that sonar when he came in. He sniffed that rattling flyer. Wasn't really digging the rattle. So he just went for the, oh, there's another one there. He went for the, missed that one. More subtle setup. This is why I went live, because I figured this evening bite would kind of kick off a little bit here. All right, so that's the quiver spoon on that rod. I'm just dead sticking that. Normally I'd use a frosty spoon for a dead stick, but for some reason today they are liking that bigger quiver spoon. I like to use the frosty spoon for a dead stick. Just, he bit that minnow right off of there. Just for the fact that it's lighter and I can get a little bit of action out of that minnow with that little frosty spoon on there. I'm just hooking these through the head is all I'm doing. Letting them dangle like that. Let's talk about the specific lure I got on here. Pink Tiger Glow Rattling Flyer spoon. And this is one of the new colors of Rattling Flyers. And we've got a ton of banging new Rattling Flyer colors. Of course, that's quiver spoons I just pulled up. We have some new quiver spoon colors also. And that's what I just caught that fish on, that perch, is that sherbet color you can see on the right there, quiver spoon. But I will, another one down there, huh? I'm catching fish today. I will tell you that my new favorite lure, I've always been a Rattling Flyer fan on Lake of the Woods, but I tell you what, if you want to catch fish on Lake of the Woods, this color right here, this is what I got on. Everybody knows pink and gold, Lake of the Woods, lights out. And this new rattling flyer, it's money, I'm telling you. And it glows. Such a sweet lure right now in Lake of the Woods. So I'll show you what I got down here. Perch, another perch, and then this was the first one. I got this walleye right away, nice walleye. And that's probably all I'm gonna keep, just enough for supper there. So speaking of supper, I want to give you guys something different here. This is my friend Rachel, and she makes this walleye piccata, and I want to throw this recipe at you. So let's watch this, let me know what you think of it, and then we'll do some more fishing.
Hi, today we are making walleye piccata. I have everything ready. My cast iron pan is warming up on medium-high heat. Most important thing about any time you're putting fish in flour is your fish needs to be dry. So once you defrost it, or if it's fresh, get it on some paper towels and get it nice and dry. I am going to cut these fillets in half before I put them in my flour so that you get easier sizes. We are going to do salt and pepper on the fillets. And I also have oregano and garlic powder. I'm gonna do about half of this on this side, and we'll flip them, do the same thing. Okay, then you're gonna take them, dredge them in flour on both sides. I'm just gonna put them right back on my board. This isn't like a deep fried fish recipe, so it doesn't need to be super thick. You just want enough so it has some brown crust on it. All right, let's head back to the cast iron. All right, to your medium hot cast iron pan, we're gonna add quite a bit of oil here, just enough to cover the bottom. And I am going to add about 2 tablespoons of, I have ghee here, you can also use butter. Ghee is just actually clarified butter. Let that melt down. And you want this oil hot before you get your fish in it, not smoking too much, but hot. We're gonna put our fish in. You wanna leave some space between your fish. Don't crowd your pan here. You can go in multiple rounds if you have a lot of fish that you're doing, which may have to for this one. And let it cook on one side for about 3 to 4 minutes, depending on how thick your fillets are. Some of the smaller ones are gonna get done a little quicker. We'll get those out first. Take our fish and transfer it to a cooling rack with paper towel underneath, and this is gonna let any of the oil that it's absorbed to drain off of it while we make the rest of our sauce. You're gonna turn your pan down. I'm gonna deglaze it with a 1/4 cup of white wine. When you do that, you wanna scrape up all of that brown bits from cooking your fish. And to that, you're going to add your minced garlic. And you're only gonna let that cook for about 30 seconds. Garlic burns very easily. Add in 1 more tablespoon of butter. Then I'm gonna go in with my half a cup of chicken broth. I've got 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and drained and rinsed capers, about 2 tablespoons. Now that the sauce has thickened up, you can add your fish back in. Just move the garlic and the capers out of the way. And turn your pan off. I kind of like to spoon a little bit of this over the fillets just to give them or fresh lemon slices. And a little bit of parsley. Delicious. If you would like to try this recipe, it's posted below in the comments.
All right, what'd you think of that? Throw it down in the comments. You like that? You want me to do more of those? She's got a ton of banging recipes. Like I said before, let me get that. Mega Live up there. There's the Mega Live. I don't know if you saw that during the cooking. We got 2 fish, a perch and a sauger. Like I said before, we'll be giving this rod away live on the air. Radcliffe G3. These dudes are from Wisconsin. Dale and Eric, super legit guys. And their rods are really sweet. All these rods you see right here. Yep, every one of these is a Radcliffe I'm using right now. This G3, like I said, it's a panfish rod. I'm going to say multi-purpose panfish rod is a good term for it. If you guys want to check the Radcliffe boys out, there is their website right there. Check them out. Check out their Facebook. Super sweet rods. So all you have to do to win that is throw a comment down during this live stream, and I will give that away. Lots of questions. So you can see that I am keeping this rattling flyer moving at all times just because of the fact that I'm in this featureless basin, and I want to keep it moving so that I get that noise out of that rattling flyer. And I'm actually really tempted to drop 2 rattling flyers down right now, but lakes like this where you can use 2 rods, it's a little bit easier to select your bait because you can drop 2 down and you can, you know, put them up against each other and see what's going on and what they like and what they don't like. It's a little bit easier than a lake where you were only fishing with maybe 1 rod. But like I said, I always start middle of the road with the quiver spoon, and generally I will move towards the rattling end of it. If I was in like a super clear lake, I might actually go more towards the frosty spoon instead of going towards the rattling end. There's one underneath me right there. You guys see him? Do this. Switch that around there. So you can see when you're looking at this, obviously the bottom's there, and then you see the fish, and then you see my rattling flyer, and then you see the swivel. I do have a 8-pound fluorocarbon leader on here, which isn't necessary on Lake of the Woods, but it doesn't hurt either. What do you guys got for questions? There's a ton of them. What lure am I using? 1/4 ounce. I have a rattling flyer and a quiver spoon down right now. I got the sherbet color on one, and I got the Pink Tiger Glow on the other one. And like I said, that Pink Tiger Glow is definitely my new favorite lure on Lake of the Woods. Jason, I don't know if I'm going to make it out here. It's cold. It's super cold. My four-wheeler, it's been a mess today. My four-wheeler didn't want to start. It's just been a bit of a disaster, but we're out here and we're catching fish, so it all panned out. And you know what? I have been starting the four-wheeler probably every half an hour, 45 minutes, just to make sure that it starts when it's time to go. But as far as travel out here, wheelers are working right now. You could definitely use a snowmobile out here. There's plenty of snow. And track, I see a lot of tracked vehicles running around everywhere, of course, like usual. But you can go either way right now, snowmobile or ATV. Its travel is fine both ways. But like I said, don't go venturing off anywhere because there is still a lot of areas of thin ice. I would stick with the resorts. Talk to the resorts. They'll tell you where to go. They'll have safe passage marked for you. Stay within their boundaries. And yeah, there's been a lot of bad ice this year, so definitely stay within the resort boundaries and do what the resort says. Don't go venturing out right now because just because it's been cold, it's still not where it should be. What else you guys got going on? Tim Erickson, how important is it to go to Tungsten? For walleye, not so much. There are bites I am on sometimes where I will definitely catch fish on Tungsten, but I would say, like I said, on that scale of these lures that I popped up there, I will tell you that generally I'm going to head towards that rattling flyer end of it, but there are a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, but every once in a while there are times where a minnow head and a tungsten is actually a pretty good bait. You know, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. Just to show you, I'm going to take this quiver spoon out that I just caught a fish on, which is maybe not a good idea, but since it's catching. But what I'm going to do is I am going to drop down got a tungsten toad right here. There's a plastic on it. I'm going to pull that off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch that minnow head off right here. I'm going to put just the minnow head on the tungsten toad just so you guys can see what goes on down there. There we go. Of course, there's one down there right now looking at that flyer too. Get that live scope back, or that mega live back up. There we go. Alright, tungsten toad is dropping down there. You can kind of see it. Hold this rod because there's a fish right underneath it. And that's how it's been. They kind of come through in little flurries like that. You'll have, 3, 4 come through. It's quiet for about 5 minutes. 3, 4 come through, quiet for 5 minutes. Okay, we're going to leave that tungsten toad sitting right there. This isn't something I'd usually do on Lake of the Woods, but I'll do it just to show you guys. So now we're reading the mood of that fish is what we're doing. Look at that. He's going right over to that tungsten toad. Look at that, engaging. Oh, missed him. See if we can do that again. That was interesting there. He didn't like the rattle, and this is what I'm talking about. He didn't like the rattle, so he headed right over to that tungsten toad and hit it. It's not a very big fish, though. If I'm fishing for big fish, I'm probably not going to go towards a tungsten toad. Like when I'm talking like 27, 30-inch walleye, that's... But we do have new, we have new hook sizes this year in the tungsten toad, and with the new hook sizes, they're much larger. So, like, for instance, what I got going on right now, I got the smaller, I think number 10 on here right now. So that minnow head really, he's going to go after that toad again. Right on it. That minnow head really fills up the gap. So it's not as easy to hook them. But with the new sizes of tungsten toads we have now, you can easily, I should tie one of those on is what I should do. You can easily, that's a better fish there. We want to catch that one. Concentrate. That's a good fish there. And he's just swimming away. That fish is probably mid-20s, I would imagine. All right. Once again, rod giveaway. towards the end of this. Throw a comment, give that to somebody. Another one down there. Switch up that screen for you. There you go. Let's see what's going on now. And he just hit the toad. Oh, he hit it. A lot going on here. See that one creeping in there? He's under the toad right now. I'm going to pop this rattling flyer, engage the rattles a little bit, see if he's into it. And that fish was not having it either way. So it's super interesting that they are hitting that toad like that. So the new toad with the new hook size, the bigger hook size, with a minnow head on it would actually probably be, that'd probably be a good lure also right now. And what this is telling me, you know, in general too, is maybe downsize a little bit. All right, what else you guys got for questions? What part of the state I am? I am on Lake of the Woods. I went out of, I'm by, you could just say by Rocky Point on Lake of the Woods. Brian, we could all use a custom rod, trust me. When you get a rod tailored to the lure you're using, it is it's a game changer. Definitely catch more fish. Tad, I'm not very far out at all. Like maybe a couple miles out on a road that is safe. And the resorts are traveling around here. Not very far out at all. I wouldn't recommend going too far out, just because of the sketchy ice this year. And I haven't fished the Pine Island area, so I can't speak to that. I don't know how far those guys are out over there, but I do know they're catching fish like crazy over there. Tom, 1/4 ounce rattling flyer, that's what I'm using. Another fish under me. So you saw what that tungsten could do. They were hitting that, and those are smaller fish that were hitting that for sure. But I'm going to get this tungsten out of here just because I should be using the one with the bigger hook on it, because I don't like how this minnow head fills up that whole hook gap, and it makes it hard to hook the fish when you got that much bait on that little of a hook. So for this application, I would use the larger size hooks on the tungsten toads that we just came out with. I'm going with that sherbet quiver spoon again, just like that. Minnow's hooked kind of funny. Make sure he's head hooked. That's been working. And this is textbook Lake of the Woods. Quiver spoons and rattling flyers. They love them. Pink, purple, gold, anything like that. They just want to mess with me. There's one there. And you can see my jigging is very subtle. I'm not over jigging them and ripping it. So if I rip it, watch. See, there he swam right away. And that's been the story all day. As soon as I give it a rip, they're swimming away. So it's more of just like a popping action. I'm not really giving it a ton of movement down there. And that's something you can see on a Markham, Vexlar, Mega Live. I mean, you can see how fast those fish are swimming away on any unit. You don't have to have a live unit like this one. But I've been noticing that all day. As soon as I give it a big jig, the fish is out. Wisconsin, sweet. Bait fish. Jordan, up near the top of the screen, a lot of times you'll see all kinds of bait fish, tulibies, stuff like that going through next. I'll point it out next time I see some bait or something go by. A lot of times those pike like to cruise right under the ice too. You'll see that. Hopefully while we're out here, we see a sturgeon creeping on the bottom. The sturgeon population has exploded, and a lot of times, pretty much every time I'm out, I do see a sturgeon creeping along the bottom. All right, Ron, you like the Mega Live full screen so you can see it better? There's a fish under me there. Super subtle. I'm just wiggling it enough to engage that rattle. I will tell you one thing that Mega Live has taught me is that the majority of my life I was jigging too close to the bottom. I'm jigging like 2-3 feet off the bottom now, and these fish, no kidding, 15-20 feet away, a lot of times they can see or sense or hear that bait 20 feet out, and you will see them speed up to come hit it. So don't be afraid to jig 2-3 feet off the bottom. It's not, I don't do it like I used to where I'm just a couple inches pounding the mud all the time. I'm up a little more because these fish, you know, they feed up. So from 20 feet away, they're seeing this, and you can just see them just cruise right in. And I've seen it a couple times today, so if you keep your eye on that, we might see that happen too. Jason Hunter. These colors are, go to lurenet.com, or they're in most of the retailers. Check them out. Nate Rattling Flyer, 1/4 ounce. Let's look at that one again. This is my new favorite on Lake of the Woods. It glows, it's pink. It's got gold on it. It's money. Really like that. Really like that Rattling Flyer on Lake of the Woods right now. But that's textbook Lake of the Woods, right? Gold, pink, a little bit of rattle. Another one creeping right on the bottom. I don't know if you can see him or not. Yep. A little separation there. See, look at that. He turned when I messed with that quiver spoon. And this is just a standard quiver spoon. It's not the Rattling quiver spoon. Hey, Chazen, how you doing, man? Who doesn't love the Rattling Flyer, right? I did love your, Chazen. I loved your Devil's Lake trip. That was fun to watch. Super cool. Jordan, I'm on a rocky point near Arneson's. That's where I am. He's just chilling on the bottom there. Doesn't want to come up though. I'm going to drop it down a little bit closer to him, see if I can get him to go. You can see my jigging is just so subtle. As soon as I get too aggressive with it, they're running. Nope. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. How much ice? This specific spot, and I'm just saying this specific spot I'm in, there's a ton of ice. I think there's for sure 20 inches of ice where I'm sitting. I'd say I'm going to go 18 to 20 inches of ice right where I'm sitting right now. But I want to stress again, that is not everywhere on the lake. It's dangerous. This spot has a really good, thick, nice ice, but that is not the case for a lot of other areas on Lake of the Woods and surrounding lakes. So be careful, everyone. Be very careful. Lauren, I'm not on structure right now. I'm right off the structure in the mud. So I've got a reef just right over here. and the top of this reef comes up to whatever it is, 5, 10 feet, something like that, probably 10 feet. And I'm just off it, and I'm not even on the transition. I'm even off the transition a little bit in the mud is where all these fish are just piled up right now. Yes, Robert, I'm probably in 21, 22 feet, about that, depending on how far I have that live scope pull down the water, but we could just say 22 feet. If I was to go that way a little further, it would drop down slightly. It'll hit 30 if I go that way. And if I go towards the reef, it'll hit probably 10. So we're not in the deepest of the basin, but yeah, dead sticking is definitely working. And my go-to dead stick bait on Lake of the Woods is a frosty spoon. And like I said, the reason for that is I can tail hook or back hook that minnow with that frosty spoon, and it's nice and light, so that minnow kind of swims around and you get some movement out of your dead stick. Looks more natural, let's say that. One right on the bottom, just hugging the bottom there. Kind of see the bottom kind of moving a little bit. Like I said before, we should be live on both YouTube and Facebook, hopefully. So if you're at home, you want to watch it on the TV, it should just work if you go to the Lindy Fishing Tackle YouTube page. Northern Manitoba, huh? Awesome. Love the paw. Love the paw. Where in Northern Manitoba are you from? It's one of my favorite spots to fish is Northern Manitoba. Oh, you're from the paw. Sweet. It's, what is that? Evergreen Resort, Clearwater Lake up there on the paw. Phenomenal lake trout fishing. Love that spot. Don't love the drive, but I love that spot. There's another one creeping in there. See him? I'm working this flyer. Super. Oh, he moved a little bit faster. He might be a more decent fish. Get him to raise up. We got all kinds of stuff going on there. I'm guessing what you're seeing there is a bunch of little saugers swimming through, would be my guess. As they enter the cone, they get larger, obviously. Another one on the bottom there. I'm actually probably going to lower this dead stick a little bit just because of the reason they're just creeping on that bottom. Get them to come up maybe. And it has been morning and evening has definitely been the best bite on Lake of the Woods in the last week, I'd say. What else you guys got for questions? Jordan, when I'm setting my dead stick, I'm probably a foot to 2 feet off the bottom. I set my dead stick a little bit higher than most people just due to the fact that over the last couple of years watching this live technology, When I'm 2-3 feet off the bottom, I can tell those fish can see it from 20 feet away and see them come right in. So I think it's more beneficial to be a little bit higher than lower. That's a nice fish there. There he is. Oh, of course I wasn't paying attention. Let's see if I can get him to turn is what we want. See, he took a swing at it, but I wasn't paying attention. A little bit of action there probably would have got him. What does he see? So look at how he goes past that. I need to concentrate here. There's on the dead stick. He's on the dead stick. Oh, he dropped it. Comes again. I'm gonna go for that rattling flyer. He's gonna fish 2 rods here. Super subtle jigging. Just twitching it. It's just hanging. So this one will bite, you watch. If he didn't get my minnow off that dead stick, that may have happened. He did tap it, but I wasn't quick enough. There he comes. Right on that rattling flyer. I'm betting he swiped that minnow off that. He'll bite. Come on. So what he's doing is he's just circling around the bottom. You can see that mark getting bigger and smaller and bigger and smaller. Come on. What I did there is I got just a little bit more aggressive to see if that's what he's looking for, but he's not. He's looking at this flyer. He's thinking about it. Boy, the way he came up, I thought for sure he still might take another swing at it. Might have got stung a little bit. There we go. Now he's coming up. There we go. That's what we need right there. Got him. Super slow. Another perch? Oh, it's a nice walleye. That was on the rattling flyer. Popped out of his mouth. Give me 1 second. Oh, it's a sauger. That's a big sauger too. Wow. Giant sauger. That's my little, what do I got? That's my last fish I'm keeping. Rebait. So, you know, he took that initial swing at it, so I knew that eventually he was going to come back and hit it just the way he was circling down there. So once again, Pink Tiger Glow, rattling flyer spoon, 1/4 ounce, hooking the minnow just like that. The spoon's got a gold back on it. It's almost like this was made for Lake of the Woods. It was maybe made for Lake of the Woods. That's a big sauger there. Quality, the quality of fish this year is phenomenal. Another one going after the quiver. No, they like this rattle. I should have 2 rattling flyers down there, I think. And that was a good example of reading the fish and finding out what they're biting on, because you could see that he kept, of course I was engaging the rattles in the flyer, but you could see that he kept going back to that rattling flyer, back to that rattling flyer. Fish tacos at the cabin tonight, stop by. Keep those comments rolling in. Somebody that comments is going to take this Radcliffe G2 home. Another one there, right on the bottom. What else I got in here? I can show you guys. Oh, here we go. Flambeau Outdoors. These containers right here, you can see how it's blue. This is actually super cool from Flambeau. What that is Z-Rust there. Oh, look at this one. He's going to engage right away. Right over to the flyer. I can see him kind of looking at that quiver. There he hit it. Oh, little one. Little perch. A lot of perch this year. So anyway, Z-Rust from Flambeau, what that is, it's a little bit of magic they put into the blue divider things in there. And what it does is it prevents rust. And I'm a bit of a disaster when it comes to my gear. I beat everything up, hence my four-wheeler wouldn't start this morning. And what I will tell you is I can pull this sled. Those aren't the sealed boxes there. Those are just the standard boxes. But if I'm fishing out in the snow or pulling that sled and I get a bunch of that sifty snow coming through there or anything like that, I can just take that tackle box and just throw it on the shop floor and nothing is going to rust in that. It's a great technology. Love it in the summer too, like for your crankbaits. If you are fishing in a little bit of a rain or it's windy and you're getting a little splash for your crankbaits in the summer, with that Z-Rust in those containers, you don't have to worry about your box, so your $200 box of crankbaits, you know, getting all rusty. Really, really like that Z-Rust. And they put that Z-Rust in all kinds of things. They have several different size containers with that Z-Rust in it. And they also have like a Z-Rust, it's like a puck thing. I throw it on my Blackstone grill to help stop the rust, or gun safes, or I mean wherever. I actually have one in the toolbox in the back of my pickup. I have like a tool bag in there and it rusts, and I threw one of those Z-Rust pucks in there too, and it slows the rusting down on all the tools in the back of my truck. So it's super handy stuff, and it will save you a lot of money in the long run. There's Flambeau Outdoors right there and their website. So if you want to check that out, go on there. Highly recommend anything with Z-Rust in it though. It's sweet, so sweet. Especially when we're investing, you know, hundreds and hundreds of dollars in these especially crankbaits and these fishing lures. Hate to see your whole box rust out like that. Got another one coming in. Can't see him because he's behind the he's behind me. Coming in from the would be the left there. He's just kind of hanging out. He's still coming. You should see him any second now. Oh, we got two down there. Three down there. It's getting good now. This one's gonna bite. Got him. Little sauger. So did you see how I did that? He bit and I could feel the weight, and then I set the hook, because with these live minnows, they are they're biting and hanging on, so I can make sure I have him hooked before he's gonna hit that quiver spoon. Now is what he's gonna do. He's right on that quiver spoon. Another little sauger, I'd imagine. See if I can get him to hit that quiver spoon. See, now they're just not. It's the noise of that rattling flyer on Lake of the Woods these fish just love. So he's just, this will be interesting here when I drop this rattling flyer down on him. We'll see what goes on. So you saw him jig that quiver spoon and he just wasn't having it. So let's drop this rattling flyer on him and see if that triggers him or not. This could be a good instance, like I was talking about, how they like that a little bit of rattle. Chris, it just depends on the day. I would say lately I've been using, I wasn't paying attention. I'd say lately I've been using a full minnow more, but you know, where's my, must have drifted off to the side on me. I'm just reading these fish, and if they're biting, they seem to be liking this full minnow today. So that's why I'm sticking with the full minnow right now. But no, there's a lot of times on Lake of the Woods where I will just fish with the minnow head. I'd actually say more often than not on Lake of the Woods, I will fish with a minnow head. I just feel like today, I don't know that today it matters either way, but I do know that the nicer fish I'm catching, I am getting on a full minnow. He wasn't having any of it, was he? Keep going with the questions, guys. Somebody's going to take that rod home at the end. What else do I got loaded up here? One right on the bottom, just hugging the bottom. Mike, that's a good question. I think I can pop. There you go, Mike. In certain situations, yes, I do pound the bottom. And earlier today, yes, I was pounding the bottom. On Lake of the Woods, I don't pound the bottom a ton, really. But I do, you know, when I come out, I do try it and see if maybe that's a triggering factor. But I don't do a ton of pounding the bottom on Lake of the Woods at all. But you know, that's not saying that that's, you know, the right thing to do, because I do know tons of guys that put on heavier spoons and they pound the bottom a ton. There he is. Got him. And that being said, that one ate it right on the bottom. He came off on the side. He hit the side of the ice on his way up. That's what happened there. But no, Mike, today I'm not pounding the bottom, and just me as a fisherman, I don't generally pound the bottom myself, but I know a lot of guys do. Let's see, he's still hanging out down there. See if we can get him to come again. So what happens when I drop down, how we kind of lose that rattling flyer on that sonar, is it kind of goes like this, and it drifts off to the side. And then as I hold my rod still, it just kind of pendulums back into the cone is what's going on there. Should be a good time to talk about drop rates too. Right on it. You see how it kind of turns into a blob? That means he's turned. But anyway, with drop rates, if we line these two up, we go like that, see that rat? It's hard to see. That rattling flyer drops much faster than the quiver spoon. And a lot of times that drop rate is also a triggering factor, so that's something to think about too. If it's like if it's a jig bite and these fish are coming in and just crushing it, a lot of times the spoon with that faster drop rate will really make the difference. Fish right on the bottom there, hugging the bottom. On Lake of the Woods, the quiver spoon really is, it's always my starting point. I'd say on any lake, it's always my starting point, whether I'm crappie fishing or perch fishing or whatever I might be doing, I'm always going back to that quiver spoon. As far as pounding the bottom and water clarity, Kevin, I don't really equate those two things. I'm going to say no. I've been on bites where I pounded the bottom in crystal clear water. I've been on super stained, like river bites where we've been pounding the bottom, we've caught them. So, I mean, it can work in both. Decent fish under there. Can work in both instances. See how he ran? Nope, I can see both comments. I can see the YouTube comments on here, and I can see the Facebook comments on here. There's a nicer fish right there. That's the one we want. So I will it'll randomly pick. Come on. You guys see him? Yep. See how he's kind of tilted up there now? There he is right there. Another perch. Jeez, a lot of perch today. Oof, that hook's got him good too. And the majority of these fish, pink glow rattling flyer, pink tiger glow rattling flyer. Let him go. All right. Pink tiger glow rattling flyer, 1/4 ounce. Going back down, see if we can get another one. Just waiting for that lure to swing back into the cone so I can see what's going on. How big are the perch? I'll show you this perch. This specific perch was the first perch I caught. And this guy right here, he is 12.5 inches. So 11 to 12.5 inches are about the size I've been getting. Darren, about 22 feet. So what you're seeing right here, this is a good example of what's going on Lake of the Woods right now. And I think, from what I've heard, it doesn't matter which part of the lake you're on. That morning and evening bite has been phenomenal. You know, you got a house with 3-4 guys in it, and you're gonna come out with a pretty nice pail of fish right now in Lake of the Woods. And if you're looking to get into some fishing like I'm doing right now, call Arneson's Rocky Point. Give those guys a call. They've got phenomenal ice crew. They're very, very safe and conscious of what's going on out here. So you definitely want to give those guys a call. And these resorts up here could use it because, like I said, they missed a lot of weeks of their prime ice fishing, you know. It's kind of a bit of a late start to it right now. You know what? I could catch jumbos all day long, too, to tell you the truth. Usually don't get this many on Lake of the Woods. It's surprising. Oh, there's one right there coming up. See him? Oh, circling. It's going to be a nicer walleye is what it's going to be. Here he comes again. He's going to hit it this time. There, we got him right there. 16-inch walleye? There's a 16-inch perch. Wouldn't that be something? Yep. A sauger. Nice sauger. Really nice sauger. And I will say these hooks are sticky sharp because look at how these things are all just hooked. They're not coming off. Okay, that sauger there is going back because I've got more than enough fish for fish tacos, so he's his lucky day. Get baited back up here. Once again, I'm just hooking them through the head is what I'm, and the reason for that type of hooking is for the action. It'd be cool if I had a camera in the hole where you could actually see the action of that minnow flailing behind that treble hook. 90% of the fish you saw caught during this live are onto this guy right here. My new favorite lure on Lake of the Woods. It is phenomenal. Nate, what do you think about possibly lowering the limit? I'm not going to get into that, but if you want to DM me, I mean, you can talk about that for about 4 hours, okay? You know, Jordan, I wish I forgot my shiners. They're in my truck. I'm using fatheads right now, and they seem to be working well, but you know, generally I will have both types of minnows out here with me, and I will try both types. So the fatheads are working really good right now. That's not to say that the shiners wouldn't be working as good or better, but they are sitting in the tailgate of my truck right now in the parking lot, so definitely not going to try those. No, that's no problem, James. The whole goal here is to help you guys catch more fish. So any questions you have about what I'm doing or Lake of the Woods, throw them out there. And it's really about watching your electronics, like I said, whether it's a Vexilar, Markham, whatever it is, and reading these fish and adjusting your bait and your lure and your jigging cadence to these fish. Because if I was jigging super aggressively right now, I wouldn't have caught any of these fish. But they like just this little subtle popping action I have going on. And I figured that out within 5 minutes of being out here because I jigged the first one and he ran. So I slowed it down. And then you can see when I catch him too, they're just grabbing and holding. And I can actually, let's see if I can show you on this next one here. So watch when he comes. So now he bit it and he's got it in his, well, of course he didn't play the game. So I could have set the hook on him, but here we go. See if he'll put it in his mouth or not. He's right on it. I think that other one got my minnows. What happened? So, okay, he's got it in his mouth right now. Then, of course, now they're spitting it out. But all those fish earlier were grabbing it and holding it, and I had about a second to pop them. Let's see if I still got my minnow. I'm guessing they robbed me. Yep. But that's just today's bite. That's not standard at all. A lot of times they'll swing in and hit it and run, and you don't even have a chance. You got to set the hook instantly. But today they're kind of just grabbing it and holding onto it. So you got a chance to feel that weight and then set the hook. Make sure they got that thing in their mouth. So there's another one under that quiver spoon. I should check the bait on this quiver spoon too. I bet I got robbed. So I was jigging the quiver spoon, and now watch. I'm going to jig this rattling. He's going to go for that quiver spoon, isn't he? Now I'm tangled in my other one. Gonna hit this while I'm messing around too, because that's how that works. These are just all these rods that I have stacked up over here that I shouldn't have stacked up over here. A little bit of light. All right, there we go. Back in action. Maybe. So you can see they're constantly moving through. And it's been like that all day. I picked up a lot of fish. During the day even. It was actually surprising how many I picked up. All right, got that. Let me get this rod out of the way. All right. So let's check the bait on that quiver spoon to make sure. Oh, there's one coming in right there though. See how fast he's speeding up? See how far away that fish, I suppose you couldn't see because it came from the left, but see how far away that fish saw that from. Here he comes. Maybe. Just thinking about it. Nope. So that specific fish right there, if I was just getting out here and that happened right there, what that fish did, what I would probably do is then I would go to that minnow head, or I would downsize my, go to like a 3/16, or I'd go to something a little bit smaller if that happened right when I came out. And, you know, when I come out, I'm going to test it on 2-3 fish before I go ahead and start switching stuff, because just because that fish wasn't into it doesn't mean the 6 other fish behind him. So you want to kind of take a sample group of them and figure out what yes, I have a fluorocarbon leader, 8-pound fluorocarbon leader with a swivel. I'm using a swivel just to show you guys that swivels are no problem to use. If you want to get fancy and tie, you know, Uni, Alberto, any of those knots, you can also do that, but a swivel's pretty foolproof. You're not going to have a lot of issues with the swivel, and you're not going to have a lot of issues with your knot coming undone. Those line-to-line knots can be tricky if you don't practice them. A micro swivel is just fine. Oh, I didn't know that, Jordan. They were letting half tons out over there. And that's what I'm saying. You know, go on these resort social medias, and they're very good at posting, like, if they're letting half tons, if they're letting wheelhouses, if they're letting wheelers, if they're letting snowmobiles. They're very informative. So definitely keep an eye on those Facebook pages, and you'll know. Gonna cut her off here pretty soon, guys, so throw your comments down. Somebody is gonna take this Ratcliffe G2 panfish rod home. If you go back on the last, was it the last live I did? If you go back on the last live, the majority of that live, I believe I was using a G2. There's those new colors of quiver spoons if you want to check those out. Got a Wonder Bread in there. Got some tiger colors, sherbet. There's one right on the bottom there. Coming up. Getting funny around dark here. The light's starting to get a little bit low. Well, there. Oh, he hit it too. I wasn't paying attention. He had some weight to him too. That was a little better fish. He for sure got my minnow though. Look at this one coming for this quiver spoon right now. Definitely preferring that rattling flyer. So you can hear my swivel there hit the eyelet. Bait it up again. So you can see that fish right now. He's hanging out underneath that quiver spoon, just sitting right on the bottom. And I don't know when this gets down there if he'll engage or not. Better start your wheeler. Yeah, no kidding. You know what maybe I'll do is maybe I'll start that wheeler live, and when it doesn't start, first one to come pick me up and get me off of here. There's one. See, he's hanging on it. That's a fish hanging on. Set the hook. See that? That's exactly what I was talking about. How they grab and just hold it like that, and I could tell that he had it in his mouth, and I was gonna get a good hook set. There's a nicer fish too. Another big sauger. That is a fat sauger. Wow. Another nice fish down there. I'm guessing that is his brother. Oof, look at that sauger. Gorgeous sauger. Another one on that rattling flyer. Baited back up. So you saw how I did that, how he was hanging on to it, and I could feel the weight on there. I knew he had the minnow. I knew he had the lure in his mouth, and then he just sealed the deal. We gotta check this because there's no way there's a minnow on there. I can't believe they haven't hit that quiver spoon. Oh no, this one's gonna hit that quiver spoon now. Yeah, there he hit it. Feels nice too. Really nice. Oof, another nice one. It's a carbon copy of the last sauger I just caught. I've got no lures in the water and fish down there. Just inhaled it. So this color that this one just bit on, he just swallowed that thing too. Is a color that I wouldn't generally fish on Lake of the Woods, and I have it on purpose. Get him back right away. He's so big he doesn't turn in the hole. There he goes. All right, let's get something down there. There. Oh, I still got that. Okay, we're in the zone with that rattling flyer. So anyway, that sherbet color is not a traditional color I would fish on Lake of the Woods, and I have it down there on purpose just to test it. And it's definitely not a quiver spoon bite right now. It's more of a rattling flyer bite, but they're still biting that sherbet color quiver. So running out of light in here, I can't see what I'm doing anymore. Another one down there, right under it. Oh, two of them down there. Seems swinging for it. Tilted up towards it. Oh, didn't. Oh, there. See, he's holding on to it right now. That's him holding on to it. Now all I got to do is just set the hook like that. See that? Super subtle, super soft bite, just grabbing and holding. And that's a really good way to do it if the fish are playing the game, because then I know I've got a good hook set. Another nice fish. Really nice fish. That's a nice eye there. That one's pushing the slot. Lower end of it. Show you this guy where he's going to go back immediately. Beautiful fish. That's right at probably 19 inches. Stuck in my... Okay, we got nothing down there right now. I think I'm going to go... I think it's a good idea to go all in with these rattling flyers. So here I have the Wonder Bread rattling flyer. We're going to drop that down just to see what happens. Brand new color again for this year is the Wonder Bread rattling flyer. We seem to be digging these rattling flyers, so we're kind of foolish not to go all in with rattling flyers. See if we can get ourselves a big one. I want to make sure to keep a bait down there because we're on fish here. In case the big one comes by, I want to stick them. David, 1/4 ounce rattling flyer is what I'm using. Pink Tiger Glow is what I've really been liking. I got stuff everywhere. Get rid of this rod. There we go. That's the fish we've been looking for. Got him. Dead stick, that one. Yeah. Fish rattling flyers if you're coming to Lake of the Woods the next couple days. This is absurd. Another one, that's a sauger. Saugers are dark too. Are we keeping track? How many fish is that now? Lost my plier. Okay. I'll pop that lure up for you again in a second for like the 10th time if you want to see exactly. That was a Wonder Bread that I caught that one on there. Wonder Bread 1/4 ounce rattling flyer. Brandon, I'd definitely try a rattling flyer this weekend. You're a fool not to. Another fish just chilling there on the bottom, just waiting for this flyer to get down to him. See him on there? He's off to the left a little bit. Wonder if I'll have enough time to get this other one. Unhooked here. We'll get this back in. That one back, down. All right. See, we have another one there staring. Twitching the 1/4 ounce Wonder Bread rattling flyer right now. He's on it. There, he got him. If you want to get on some of the best fishing of the year, get out here. Bait this up, get it back down. I'm going to cut her off here pretty soon, guys. I'd like to crush a 28 before I log off, but Sean, yes, I don't, like, if you're talking, do I have like a swivel or a snap or anything like that? No, I do not have anything. I have it direct tied because I like the action of a direct tie. I feel like sometimes, in certain situations, those snaps will give your lure a little different action. And sometimes that works for you, but generally I prefer just like a direct tie. Am I keeping track? How many fish is that now? That's a lot. I'm soaking wet. All right, we're down there. Question is, can I get this other one down there before the fish hits again? Maybe. All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm going, so also when I'm hooking these, you can see me kind of fiddling with it here. That minnow's head's not going to cooperate, but the top of that minnow's head has got a hard spot in it, and if you can hit that with the hook, right like that there, your minnow will stay on much better because it's nice and hard and that barb will catch. All right. We're all in with rattling flyers now. See what happens. I'd imagine Lake of the Woods generally right at dark, this bite's going to shut off. So any second now, I'm thinking this bite will shut off. Your last chance if you want to fish with the Ratcliffe G2. I'm going to give one of those away here in a minute. Get the trap set. And generally, I'm not doing it today, but on Lake of the Woods, I would have Thil Float slip bobber setup on my dead stick. I've been switching so much and doing so many things right here that I just have the line direct down, no bobber, but I'd recommend a bobber on your dead stick. It just makes the whole situation so much easier. And this might be what I'm talking about. This might be the bite shutting off on us right here. We'll see. All right, go through the questions one more time. Yeah, it's a long drive, Lauren. Super long drive from there. Worth it, though. Yeah, I'm going fishing. And the temperatures are going to warm up slightly. Another word of caution is next week when these temperatures hit 30, you're going to want to be careful because this ice is probably going to move around. It's going to be very sketchy. So just because we get that nice weather and you're going to run on the ice, be very cautious. Tut, northern Minnesota. I am right on. Is that who I think it is? Are you the guy from Alaska? Tut? I'm right on the Canadian border, northern Minnesota, right on the Canadian border. I can literally see the Canadian border across the lake here. Probably I bet I'm 4 miles, 5 miles from the Canadian border, possibly. The only further you can get in Minnesota is if you were up at the angle. Tyler, that's next on my hit list is crappies, man. Yeah, Troy, Lake of the Woods is on fire. I don't know what Arneson's has for availability this weekend. I'm guessing they're pretty booked up for this weekend, but I would definitely call and check. I was hoping the big one, maybe get a burbot too. A lot of times, right at dark, these burbot come in. Yeah, I love, probably one of my favorite spots there is period summer winters at Northwest Angle. Love it up there. Hard to beat. Cody, yeah, I have. I've been in sleepers before, and I've stayed out a little bit later before. You pick up the odd fish here and there at night. A lot of times the burbot will bite at night. You usually get a few nice burbot during the night in a sleeper. But you don't get the numbers on Lake of the Woods in the middle of the night like you do during the day. Yep, medium action rod is fine. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. As soon as that sun hits a certain point on Lake of the Woods, done. Now you can see there is nothing on that sonar. And that is textbook Lake of the Woods. Like I said, if you aren't a sleeper, you'll pick up the random walleyes here and here throughout the night sometimes, and you'll get some burbot and pike and stuff like that. But it's just not, the numbers game is really that, you get that nice morning bite, you get this evening bite, and then a little bit of lull sometimes in the afternoon. But the lull today, or the last couple days, the lull hasn't been that bad. You've been able to pick nice fish up kind of throughout the day. Chad, is your wheeler going to start? I'm going to say it's 50-50 with that wheeler starting. We'll see what happens. Can 22 feet. Temp over there. Well, when I came out, it was negative 17. When I woke up, it was negative 21. Hence the four-wheeler not wanting to start. But I don't know what the temp is right now. I'm guessing it's negative 6 to 10, somewhere in there would be my guess. No wind though. 0 wind today, which is nice. That might be it for this bite, guys. I get this thing going here and see who the winner is. We'll be giving away last chance to throw it on the comments to win this G2 panfish rod from Radcliffe Custom Rods. If you want to check out what Radcliffe's got, there's their website. Dale and Eric are super good dudes. They will build you a custom one-off rod, whatever you might like, whatever you can dream up. Eric's going to be mad at me now for saying this, but whatever you can dream up, Eric will build it for you. Carbon fiber handles. They're beautiful rods. Beautiful rods. And he'll handcraft that rod to your exact specs. Whatever you're looking for, Eric can make you. Yeah, John, Arneson's does have really good food and drink. Their wings, I love their wings. Jordan, how long a fluoro leader do I have? Well, it's usually about as long as my rod is how long it is, so that when I clip my lure onto the keeper here, the swivel is not in the eyelet. So whatever this, 34 inches probably, but then as I go and retie, it obviously gets shorter and shorter. I end up, once it gets too short, I retie. I know one of these has a super short one, but you could say, you know, about 30-inch fluoro leader, but this bite is done. All right. Cut it off here in just a second. We're going to give that rod away, and then I'm out of here. Over to Arneson's. You headed up right now, Jeff? All right, here we go, guys. I'm going to cut it off right here. I'm going to give away this Radcliffe rod. Yep, it's a done deal. All right, guys, so the winner of the Radcliffe panfish rod is Sean Enright. So what you need to do, Sean, is just watch your messages. I am going to message you a little bit later tonight, and I will ship that rod off to you. And congratulations, Sean. I'm going to pack it up here and make sure my four-wheeler starts. Who wants to see if that four-wheeler starts? Should I go start it? Yeah, you're going to love that rod, Sean, if you're a pan fisherman. It is money. For clear water, what is your color choice? I'm going to go more towards the natural spectrum, the darker spectrum for clear water. And when I get in this stained water, I'm going to head to the glow stuff. Is normally how I do it. You're welcome, Sean. I'll message you later tonight and ship that rod right out to you. Yeah, you're welcome, Ron. All right, before I go, we're going to start the wheeler just to see if it starts, and then I'm out of here, guys. I'll be right back. There we go. Looks like I'm going to make it in tonight. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for fishing with me today. Thank you for all the questions, and thank you for all the questions I get afterwards. If you're out fishing, you have some, go ahead and DM me on my personal Facebook or Instagram. I'll answer any questions you guys might have. If you're coming up the Lake of the Woods, 1/4 ounce rattling flyer spoons. That's what doing it. Thanks for watching, guys. And have a good night.